Hello, I'm Shane M. Nygaard, and welcome to the Three Fates and the Couture of Incarnation, a Mythic Currents video reimagining the ancient Greek mythic three fates as the original couturiers of a life, of all our lives, lives as couture, because no soul was ever meant to live off the rack. Before fashion houses, before runways, before the sacred drama of the fitting room, there were three ancient women at work with thread. Lachesis allotted, Clotho spun, Atropos cut. In Greek myth, these are the Moirai, the Fates. But here, we are going to see them through a different image, not as cold bureaucrats of destiny, but as the original couturiers. They do not simply assign a life, they make one. They measure, spin, and cut the mysterious fabric through which a soul enters time. Every incarnation becomes a couture collection, strange, exact, unrepeatable, and designed for one life alone. We often think of fate as a decree, something written in stone, imposed from far away, cold and unchangeable. But with the mythic image, it's more intimate. Fate is thread. Thread is handled. It passes through fingers. It can tangle and bind and mend. It can adorn and unravel and lead us through the labyrinth. This makes fate tactile rather than abstract. The fates do not sit in a cosmic office stamping destiny onto human lives. They work with material. They handle the soul's incarnation as something soft, delicate, strong, and dangerous. Thread can hold a life together, but it can also be pulled, frayed, knotted, or cut. This is the core image. Every life is couture. Not mass produced, not standard issue, not the life everyone else seems to be wearing. The soul enters life bearing a portion, a thread, a cut, a seam, a drape, a texture, and a strange inheritance of fabric. We're not here to live generic lives. We are not here to fit ourselves into ready to wear identities approved by culture, family, marketplace, institutions, or even algorithm. A soul's life is a one of a kind collection designed for the conditions, beauty, burden, weather, and mystery of that particular incarnation. The life is not merely one garment chosen for a single dramatic entrance. It is a collection. A fashion collection may contain many garments, but it is not random. Each piece belongs to a larger imagination. So too with a life. Childhood cotton, adolescent glitter, the rough wool of labor, the silk of love, the black crepe of grief, the armor-like tailoring of survival, the ceremonial robes of arrival. Each may appear at a different moment under different lights, yet each belongs to the same hidden design. The life is the collection. The runway is time. The soul must learn to walk every look. Some collections are not recognized as couture because we are too busy comparing them to ready to wear. We look at another person's silhouette or their success, or maybe it's their marriage, their body, or career, the ease with which they live, or apparent lack of seams, and we assume the fates were more generous with them. But couture is not transferable. A garment designed for one body hangs strangely on another. It pinches where it should flow. It drags where it should lift. It overwhelms the shoulders. The beauty of a fate is not in resembling someone else's life. Its beauty emerges when the soul finally learns how to wear what was made for it. Lachesis, the first couturier of the soul's design. She allots the portion. She measures the bolt of cloth. She determines the span, the amount of material, the raw possibility from which the collection may be made. This is not fairness in the ordinary sense. Lachesis does not give every soul the same yardage, the same color palette, or ancestral weave. Seasons are different, climate or constraint. One receives abundance but little ease. Another may receive brilliance but instability. Another is given hardship lined with endurance. Lachesis says, this much. This is the material from which your life's collection will be made. If we follow the daimonic imagination, the soul is not merely dragged into the fitting room. Somewhere before memory, in the mysterious prelude to incarnation, the soul recognizes a collection in the fates' atelier. This life, this childhood, this ancestry, this wound, this beauty, this burden, this climate, this gift, and this ordeal, this splendor. The personality may spend a lifetime learning why, while some deeper image in the soul seems to have known. This does not make suffering easy or sentimental. It simply suggests that the soul's image may be larger than the ego's comfort. Clotho is the spinner, the motion maker, the one whose fingers draw raw possibility into continuity. If Lachesis is the measure, Clotho is the movement. She spins childhood, adolescence, desire, education, friendship, accident, failure, vocation, love, bewilderment, and awakening. Under her fingers, life does not arrive all at once. The collection unfolds. One garment gives way to another, yet each belongs to the same hidden design. Clotho reminds us that destiny is not only what is given, it is what becomes, what turns, what lengthens, what gathers texture through time. The fates do not design for an imaginary runway. They design for conditions. A soul is born into season, weather, body, bloodline, country, century, household, hunger, privilege or exile, expectation, climate, and time. An autumnal soul may arrive in russet, ochre, wool, and memory. A springtime soul may come clothed in green silk, wet earth, blossoms, and beginnings. Some souls are born into families of velvet and music, others into houses of burlap and scarcity. Some are given bodies that require constant negotiation. Some are given armor disguised as tailoring. Some are given wings sewn secretly into the seams. Atropos is the cutter, the one most feared because she cuts the thread at death. But in couture, cutting is not merely ending. Cutting is what makes form possible. Without the cut, fabric remains potential. A bolt of cloth may be beautiful, but it is not yet a garment. It has not taken shape. It has not been fitted. It has not learned the body. Atropos gives edge and boundary. She gives silhouette and decision. Every life is shaped by cuts before the final one. Relationships that end, cities left behind, identities outgrown, beliefs that can no longer be worn. Atropos is present whenever life says, not this, not anymore. If the fates are the couturiers and incarnation is the collection, then time is the runway. The garments are not complete on the hanger. They must be walked. They must be carried. They must be shown. This is not passive submission to destiny. It is performance in the deepest sense. The garment becomes alive through the walk. A strange silhouette reveals its genius. A difficult train becomes dramatic. A severe line becomes elegant. A garment that seemed unwearable becomes magnificent because the one wearing it has learned how to move with it rather than against it. The question becomes, which look am I being asked to walk now? To wear one's fate beautifully requires no false gratitude for pain, no spiritualized acceptance of injustice, no smile beneath unbearable weight. It asks for something more exacting, the courage to discover the form of one's own life and inhabit it with increasing truth. It is to stop dressing for the wrong gods, to stop auditioning for lives not cut to one's measure, to recognize that the collection may be strange because the soul is strange, and the soul is strange because it is singular. The fates do not ask us to become like everyone else. They ask us to become visible through the life that is ours. The runway is time. The collection is incarnation. Walk. Thank you. My hope is that this image of the three fates as the original couturiers gives us a more beautiful, tactile, and compassionate way to imagine fate. Not as a cold decree, not as a punishment, not as a moral scorecard, but as the mysterious couture of incarnation, measured, spun, cut, bound, altered, weathered, adorned, and finally worn into visibility. Each of us arrives with a life that cannot be exchanged or returned, and yet within that life there is style, movement, dignity, and revelation. The fates do not ask us to become like everyone else. They ask us to become visible through the life that is ours. The runway is time. The collection is incarnation. And there you are, wearing the grand design no one else could ever wear. For additional mythopoetic astrological content, visit my Substack, Mythic Currents, at mythiccurrents.substack.com.